Hey, friends! It's me, Christiana Gaudet, your tarot fairy godmother. And welcome to our class. For those of you who are here with us live, thank you so much for being here. For those of you who are watching in replay, we appreciate you as well. This is a class on oracle cards and tarot. And I can see by the comments, a lot of you are all raring to go with, at your hand, a tarot deck and an oracle deck. And that is fabulous. There are some of you who have no deck in your hand because, Trey, you're sick in bed with COVID. I am so sorry to hear that, but thanks so much for being here. And much appreciation to Justine, who is off to see John Edward. I saw him years ago. I don't think I knew that he was still touring. So we're going to look forward to hearing all about that. And you asked a bunch of questions. So right in the beginning, there are some really smart questions from Justine that I am planning on covering in tonight's class. But what I'm going to do when I get toward the end of the class, I'm going to scroll back up and look at all of Justine's questions and make sure we answered them all. So it is so nice to see all of you. Special shout out to the members, the moderators, to everyone here. And if you're new for the first time here, thank you so much for being here. Please do subscribe and please do hit that bell. While y'all are here, please remember to like this video. So we got a whole mess to get through. You want to see a whole mess? I got a whole mess for you. Oh my goodness! Look at it all! Oh my gosh, no! What did we do? What did we do? Did I just go into my office and I was like, oh, we'll use this and this and this and this and this and this? No, I actually put some thought into it. So how are we going to go here? What we're going to do, I'm going to start with a simple conversation around the word oracle. And some of you have heard me do this before, but I'm going to do it again because it bears repeating. I'm going to talk about the word oracle. I'm going to talk about different systems. I'm going to talk about different kinds of tarot decks, different kinds of oracle decks. And then we'll talk about how we can put tarot cards and oracle decks together. And there was a request here about using Lenormand as well. And I do have a few Lenormand decks here. And sneak peek, this year, at some point this year, I think I am going to be learning. I've got so many Lenormand decks. Lenormand. I've got so many of them, and I'm really not good at them. But I think what I'm going to do is learn to read them right here live with you so you can study along with me. So that's definitely on the docket for this year. I want to say a big thank you to Angelic Michelle, who has been a member of this channel for 21 months at the very highest level, and who has helped out with a super sticker. I really appreciate that, and I appreciate your support. I will let all y'all know, if you are a member at the Suns level or the Stars level, go to the community tab. There is a special message for you. And if you're a member at any level, we have our members only live stream coming up on February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day. And we're going to focus on love readings, and that's going to be fun. All right. So let's talk first of all about the word oracle. Literally and specifically, the word oracle means any tool used to do divination. So please behold many oracles. Okay? The word oracle also means the space in which we do our readings. So welcome to my oracle. The word oracle also means the person who does the reading. So I am an oracle, you are an oracle, we are all oracles. And the word oracle also means the message that is delivered. So we can be oracles in an oracle, using oracles, delivering an oracle, right? All of that. But in our modern cartomancy society, we have designated the word oracle to mean a very specific thing in context. And that is this. There are many systems of cartomancy, of card divination. You can do divination with a regular playing deck. That's a particular system. You can do divination with tarot, and I'm going to show you a few different tarot systems. But in general, we'll say that tarot decks all have some very specific things in common. There is, as we've mentioned, Lenormand. Again, a specific system. And we also have you seen these? This was my very first deck of divination cards. This exact deck was in my Christmas stocking when I was 8 years old. And look at this, isn't this cool? The U.S. Playing Card Company. That's what U.S. Game Systems Incorporated used to be, right? So this is its own system, very much like Lenormand, but not exactly. And if you're interested in some of these different systems, Kipper, there's a few more. Oracle Boolean. If you're interested in them, check out the WDA, the World Divination Association. They do classes in all of them. And so decks with systems are known by the name of their system. Gypsy Witch fortune-telling cards, Lenormand, tarot. And if we want to be more specific, it'll be Marseille Tarot, Waite Tarot, Crowley Tarot. I'm going to show you examples of all of those as well. So oracle cards, the term oracle card is used to designate essentially a one-off. A deck of cards designed for cartomancy and contemplation that does not follow a specific system. And I'm going to show you some examples of different oracle cards. And I think we can even put those into some specific categories. Ashriel, nice to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. Right. Okay. La Vera Sibilla? And Gypsy. Is this the Gypsy one you're talking about? Or is there a different one? You can always trust Ashriel. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being a member. To have smart things to say. I just have to say that. Okay. Yeah, Ben, Oracle Boolean, right? I hadn't even heard of it until I sat down to interview Maria Alves Hernando. And I think I'm going to ask her if she wants to do a class on it at StarCon 2024. What do you think? Good idea? Good idea? I think it's a good idea. All right. So let's start. Let's get through this pile of stuff. And let's start by talking about the different kinds of tarot decks. Now, on this channel, you see a lot of decks that are weight or weight-based. Asheville, Gypsy is different from Gypsy Witch. And that's good to know, and thank you. And what do we do about the fact that these cards have these names, but the G word is now very specifically considered a slur? And so, like, in no other context would I utter that word in 2023. But what am I going to call this deck? Because that's what it's called. So I don't know what we're all going to do about that, but I know we're going to have to do something about that in the next few years. Okay. Pamela, do I read and use all these systems? No, I do not. I'm also a collector. Okay. So on this channel, what you see a lot of is weight and weight-based decks because I have been a weight girl for a really long time. Now, arguably, there are three popular systems of tarot. There is Waite, there is Crowley, right? There's a Crowley deck. And within, the Waite and Crowley systems, there are decks that are Waite clones, like Robin Wood is a Waite clone, or Hanson Roberts would be considered a Waite clone. And there are other decks that are Waite inspired, like Spiral Tarot right here, right? And there are some decks that are sort of both Waite and Crowley, or both Waite and Marseille. Now, I have here the Gill Tarot as an example of a modern deck that is Crowley inspired. So if you're a Crowley reader, you might enjoy the Gill Tarot. Okay? All right. Now, there's also Marseille. And you know, in going through my collection, I know I have at least one, but I could not find just a plain old Marseille deck. I found some Marseille-inspired decks, and of course, I found some replica decks like this replica of Visconti Sforza, the world's first tarot deck that we know of. Ah, yes, Angelic Michelle, Sun and Moon Tarot. Yes, absolutely. So, but this gives us a sense of what a Marseille deck looks like, right? One of the biggest difference being that the pip cards, the 1 through 10 suit cards, are not illustrated. They simply have the number of icons for the card. So the 2 of Swords has two swords. The 10 of Swords has 10 swords, and that's what we got. Now, this is an interesting deck. This is a Marseille deck, but it's a little different. This is the IJJ. As you can see, it's an A.G. Muller. And so it is like a Marseille deck. Why is it called IJJ? Because Jupiter and Juno show up in the major arcana. So that's an IJJ. Cool, right? Ness. If you use the other tarot systems, do you personally stick with the Waite meanings? Not always, and even when I'm using a Waite deck, I will sometimes use Crowley meanings. For example, I love that Crowley calls the 6 of Swords the card of science. And so I think about that when I look at the Waite 6 of Swords. I love that Crowley calls the 2 of Swords the card of peace. And I think about that when I look at the Waite deck. I have a belief. Okay, this is my belief. You don't have to ascribe to it, but I do. I have a belief that whatever you learn about the cards, any deck at all, whatever you learn, kind of goes into this great space of your tarot knowledge and can come out in any reading, no matter what deck you're using. Nefertiti, nice to see you. How many decks do you recommend to read at one time? Well, today we're going to be talking about pairing tarot and oracle. Typically, I only use one, but sometimes I'll use 2 tarot decks. And we'll talk about all of that. Like in the second half, we're going to talk about all the different ways of doing that. But I'd be hard pressed to use more than 2. What about Minciot? Good, Pamela. There's a few systems that I don't have in my collection, and it's a shame, and it needs to be fixed. What do I not have in my collection? Minciot, Itea, Solobuska. I don't have them, and I'd like to. Oh, someone asked what a pip is. Very good. So this is an interesting thing. Thank you. I used to think that pip cards were ace through 10 of the minor arcana regardless of the deck. So your pips are your ace through 10 minor arcana. That's what I used to think. But then I was told that I was actually using that word incorrectly, that pip cards are really only used to talk about the non-illustrated minor arcana ace through 10. So if you're looking at a minor arcana card like this 3 of Swords, that's a pip card. But if you're looking at a Waite 3 of Swords, where you see the heart with the 3 swords in it, that would not be called a pip card, according to the purists. So you might hear the word pip meant to designate the 40 cards of the minor arcana in any deck, or you might hear it as specifically only in a Marseille or Marseille style deck. And some people will even call a Marseille deck a pip deck for that reason. All right. All right, just catching up on questions. Okay. Claire C., I heard that the weight deck reflects the Kabbalah because the suit symbols are arranged like the tree of life in one particular card. And that is the 10 of Pentacles. The pentacles are arranged in the Kabbalistic tree of life. But I think that a Crowley reader would argue that that deck might more connect with Kabbalah. I don't know. I'm not there for that argument, but I think it might be. All right. So we've talked about Crowley. We've talked about weight. We've talked about pip cards. We've talked about Marseille. And those are like your three tarot traditions, really: Crowley, weight, and Marseille. Crowley is also called Toth, Toth, Thoth, Tahote, depending on how you pronounce that. My Egyptologist friends all say Tahote, but in the tarot world, we mostly say Toth or Toth. DH, I love that you've inspired me to take out my oracle decks. I'm a real tarot girl. Yeah, me too. Me too. I totally hear that. So I'm going to argue that there is another tradition of tarot, and that is feminist tarot. Now, arguably, the first feminist tarot I used to have, and I gave it away, and I wish I hadn't given it away. It was Daughters of the Moon by Fiona Morgan, a round deck. And then this round deck, Mother Piece, really took over and became the feminist round deck. And interestingly, today this deck is somewhat reviled. And that's a whole conversation for another time. Those of us who still love, this is a Mother Piece mini. This is Mother Piece. Those of us who still love our Mother Piece probably still love our Mother Piece, but it's got some real problems. I'll talk about that, as I said, another time. A nice modern feminist deck is the Gaian Tarot, which you've seen me use before. And I love the idea, back in the 80s and going forward from there, that people had to think about tarot and making it less patriarchal, making it less classist, making it less white. And, these days, honestly, if you're a tarot designer in 2023 and you design a deck with only skinny white people in it, you're an a-hole and I don't want to talk to you. That's really how I feel about that. And I think a lot of that. Trey, Mother Piece is right up there with Voyagers, the ugliest decks I've ever seen. No offense. None taken. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And Angelic Michelle, I don't know the Veronica Tarot, but I would say the Vanessa Tarot, which that you're saying Veronica reminds me of Vanessa Tarot, I definitely see that as a feminist deck. For sure. For sure. Okay. Pamela's Insight. I've heard Pip deck refer to a deck with scenic minors, but not Marseille, because Marseille has meaning in placement, orders, florals, etc. Interesting. Absolutely. And Clumsy Clairvoyance gave me a really cool deck. It's not here. I'm going to bring it out this week because I've finally learned it. So get ready to see me do readings with a new deck coming up really soon. Oh, is that what you meant, Vanessa? Yeah, I think so. Ashwell, Tarot of Mystical Moments is a feminist deck. Gotcha. And Clumsy Clairvoyance, thanks for being here and thanks for being a great member and a great moderator. All right. So those are some different tarot decks. Now, there are also oracle decks that are based on tarot. Can you believe it? This is Pamela Steele's Eternal Seeker Oracle. And it's gorgeous. Comes with this big book. And you'll see that there are cards that are very much like tarot. This is called Spirit Guide. It's card 11, not card 9, but look at it. Doesn't it look like the Hermit? right? So it's not a tarot deck. It is definitely an oracle deck. But look at that. Tradition, isn't that very Hierophant inspired? So this is not a tarot deck, but it is an oracle deck that is very tarot inspired. And I think that's kind of cool. That's just a cool thing. So we'll leave that one out. Maybe we'll play with that one. All right. Before we go further into oracle decks, I do want to talk about Lenormand. Now, when we think about Lenormand decks, we are thinking about the Petit Lenormand, 36 cards. There is also a much bigger one, which is the Grand Lenormand. And I've got this one, which is the Astro-Mythological. And it says it's by Mademoiselle Lenormand, but it's really not. Neither the Grand nor the Petit were created by Marie Lenormand. She was dead by the time that happened. Just saying. But this is an interesting deck. Want to see it? Of course you do. I know you do. I know you do. Lisa Harmon, Priestess of Light Oracle is a feminist deck. Okay. Check this out. The Secret Practices in the Tremendous Game by Mademoiselle Lenormand. And that's what the cards look like. I have no idea how to read them, but if I wanted to learn, I would read this book. So I don't know if anyone here has anything to say about this deck. You'll see the playing card inserts are here. The playing card inserts also exist on Petit Lenormand decks, some of them, not all of them, but there is a playing card attribution for each of the Petit Lenormand cards, whether or not it's pictured. Have I seen the Gypsy Witch deck? You mean this one? Was my very, very first deck of cartomancy. That's how it all started, 8 years old in my Christmas stocking. Yes. Okay. So let's look at some Lenormand cards. We've got Ciro Marchetti's Gilded Reverie. And you can see he uses the playing card inserts. We've got Under the Roses, also using the playing card inserts. We've got La Santa Muerta. It's brand new. Also has the playing card inserts. And we've got Electric Lenormand. I love this one. No playing card inserts. And that's perfectly okay. If you work with the inserts, you'll know which, you'll have it memorized. You'll know which card is which playing card. So they don't need to be there. Okay, so those are some examples of that system. Now, does anyone use Lenormand and tarot at the same sitting? I have no idea how that would work because it's like two different parts of the mind. But let me know. Do you do that? I don't know. Ben, the Grand Jeu takes getting your head around. I've heard of it. I know nothing about it. Is it similar to... where did it go now? Where did it go? Here it went. Is it similar to this? I think not, but I don't know. So interesting. Angelic Michelle, you do. Okay. I would love to know how that goes for you. Like, I don't know that I'll ever be able to do that. Clarify. Okay, no, I take it all back. Yes. If I'm in a place of, well, tarot says it could be this, but it could be this, but it could be this, to clarify with Lenormand makes perfect sense. Actually, I can see it. Yes, good idea. Good idea. I stand corrected. All right. And Ness does it the other way, using the tarot as clarification due to not knowing Lenormand enough. I hear you. Okay, so now let's look, now that we've got all of the systems that I am able to show you right now out of the way, let's look at a smattering of oracle cards. We've already looked at this tarot-inspired oracle, which I think is kind of cool. And I'm having a theory, and you can tell me if you think that this makes sense or if I'm organizing something that shouldn't be organized. I'm having a theory that there are arguably a few different kinds, like they're not systems because they're each individual. But if we could put them into classes or traditions or something that types, that maybe there's a few different types. So, follow me. We have oracle cards that are inspired by a sacred text, sacred writer, or sacred system. Arguably, this one, the Eternal Seeker, is inspired by tarot, which is a sacred text. We have Mahabharata Oracle by Gita Rash, inspired by the sacred text. There is the Rumi Oracle. Would you say that the poetry of Rumi is a sacred text? I'll vote for that. Okay, so there's that. Okay. Am I encouraging shopping here? Is that what's going on here? And Quinn says, readers using both tarot and Lenormand in the same session, changing the oracle depending on the question. Oh, that's funny. In Brazil, the readers call the Lenormand the Gossiper Oracle. That's funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have oracle cards inspired by sacred text. All right. We have oracle cards this is Oracle of Visions by Ciro Marchetti. It does come with a book, but I would argue that you don't need the book at all. There's no writing on the cards. There's no name on the cards. But there's enough, like if you see this card, any of these cards, couldn't you make an interpretation without having to read the book? Isn't there something that you could say? So it's just a very evocative picture, a set of very evocative pictures. And if you read the book, there's some thoughts and there's a quote, but it doesn't really give you key words or tell you like what this card is supposed to mean. The whole point of the oracle is look at the pictures and decide what it means to you. And I think that's kind of powerful. I don't think there's a lot of these kinds of decks, but so let me know. Can you think of oracle cards that don't have words on them that are evocative? That's an interesting thought. Okay, so let's see what we got going on. Okay, first of all, I'm being an enabler. Oh, heck yeah, I am. Absolutely, yes. Do I have a favorite oracle deck? Yes, I do, and here it is. We'll talk about that later. Do I read reversals with oracle cards? That's an interesting question. Very interesting question. I wouldn't tend to. I don't know. Unicorn Rocks by Maya. 80% of the time, I won't read the book for oracle decks, right? And clumsy, yes, I've noticed some oracles with no numbers or words, just the image. Now, soul cards, that's what I was thinking of. Yes, thank you for that. Soul cards, no words or titles. So it's just what is evoked by the images. And Angelic Michelle says, I read reversals if the book has a meaning to fit. Tortoiseshell Moon, soul cards 1 and 2. Yes, absolutely. And I would argue that those kinds, soul cards, oracle of visions, this is very good at evoking our intuition and might make us better tarot readers. Oh, Quinn, it would be cool to do a Tarot Tuesday with Oracle since it's a day for a message from the universe general reading. It would be cool. Maybe I'll do that. That'd be fun. All right. I would have to get my very literal mind, like, because we call it Tarot Tuesday. I'd have to deal with that because I'm just that person, right? But okay. Maya, stacking the transparent oracle deck and reading them, way more fun than reading them separately, makes sense. Pamela, Divas of Creation might also fall into this category. Okay, so then we have oracle cards. This is Mystical Wisdom. And these are beautiful cards, and they have words, and the images can be very evocative. And they have things that they say: confrontation, pick your battles wisely, battle of the blues, the steps toward positive change. You never need to read the book. You can just read the cards. Trey, my Virgo moon is showing, it's true. It's so true, man. I'm such a literalist in so many weird ways. And yet I think fundamentalism is evil. So, it's complex in here. What can I tell you? Claire C., I've made cards in a process called soul collage, which involves meditation, journaling, and collage. The process connects you to the deepest part of your soul. Oh, I love that. Yeah, animal bond, stand up for all animals, right? So this is an oracle deck where you can just read the words. Magical Times empowerment cards. I like this too. This has a whole paragraph, an evocative picture, and healing. Bless all in need of healing, hope, and love. Spirit, grant us strength and wisdom. Guide us to the path of wellness. Ta-da! Would you want to do an 11-card spread of those? Oh, heck no. But it's cool, right? Okay. Same vein. I think these are kind of cool. We've got Art Through the Eyes of the Soul Oracle and Art Through the Star Stream Oracle. 2 oracle decks, same artist, same shape, so you can shuffle them together and read them together if you like. Here's Art Through the Star Stream. That's the back. And once again, you are immortal. Make your decisions carefully. The portal is open. Take a stand. You hold your heart in a space to be filled, right? So we got that. And then the companion deck. Follow your heart. Explore other realms. Be the powerful space between opposite poles. Become the master you seek, right? So that's kind of fun. And again, you can use just one deck or you can put the 2 decks together. So that's a cool thing. Now, we also have, here we have the Angel Inspiration deck. Also kind of pretty. Angelic Michelle, you might like these. And again, beautiful evocative images and words. Seek enlightenment. Be free. So, are these two categories, like cards with big paragraphs and cards with little words? I don't know. But there it is. Now, there are also decks. Oh, Clumsy Clairvoyance, thank you for gifting a membership. For Christina R. Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you, thank you. Sally, so you use magical times to end the reading or find the theme when a person isn't sure about a question. Perfect, I love that. Okay, so we have our oracle cards that are based on some sacred text. We have oracle cards that are simply evocative images. We have oracle cards that are evocative images with words, and we have oracle cards like the Winged Enchantment Oracle that's really beautiful, but again, either you have to read the book or intuit the card, because what does bluebird mean? What does goose mean? So you either have to be really intuitive or read the book. And the most egregious of these, in my mind, is this deck, the Woodland Wisdom Oracle cards. Like, I just don't know what to do with Oak Elf or Chickadee Fairy. Like, you really have to read the book. And where's the book? Do I even have the book? I don't even have the book anymore. So what the heck am I going to do with these? I do have the book somewhere. And I will tell you that when I've read these with the book, they've been really straight on, really good. But there it is. Now, new to the collection from an exhibitor at StarCon, the Southern Botanic Oracle. Don't you love that? And this has, some keywords. Hydrangea is gratitude and peace. I threw the book away out of frustration. I promise you I did not. But I did, in my negligence, let it get separated, which makes that oracle essentially useless without the book. So really, that's like bibliomancy with cards, is really what that is. So this is another one. So now, let's talk about pairing oracle with tarot. And no. Let's talk about my favorite. This is my favorite Conscious Spirit Oracle deck by Kim Dreyer. Okay. I love this deck. I've also lost the booklet on this, but I do not care. Beautiful backs. Why do I love this deck so much? Because it covers so much. Card 25, Spirit Guides. I open my heart to my guides and trust in the wisdom they share with me. Card 23, The Present. I fully experience every moment of my life by living in the present. And it's just, there's so much in this deck. I don't know why, but this is my favorite. So let's talk about favorites. Angelic Michelle loves the Energy Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor. What makes a deck your favorite? Who the heck knows, man? So using oracle cards and tarot. Sally has mentioned a great way to do it. To either, if the person doesn't have a question and doesn't know what they want to focus on, and you don't just want to do a general reading, you could say, let's pull an oracle card to start the reading. So say you were going to start the reading and you got Sacred Space. I find peace, security, and contentment when surrounded by nature's beauty. So what would you do with that? Would that tell you that you need to do a really good job laying down Sacred Space to do this reading? Would we want to talk about the querent's home, or what makes the querent feel peaceful, or whether the querent is spending enough time in nature? I mean, we could do a whole reading with tarot around that. The other thing is to do a card to close the reading. At the end of the reading, okay, we've got all of this. Here is a final message. Look at that. Imagine you've closed your reading. The final message is celebrate life. I celebrate every day by honoring and respecting all life on Mother Earth. What a way to send a client home. That's beautiful, right? And so we're getting some love for the botanical decks. Sally Conscious Spirit is on my wish list. The question is about thickness. These are a little thinner, these are a little thicker, but not hugely thick. Okay, Unicorn Rocks by Maya. The Medicine Woman Oracle is a beautiful deck. I love that it ties to my Native American side of my family. Now, here's a thing that I don't own but wish I did. There are decks. Sometimes it's a set. Sometimes you can buy them separately by the same artist, where there's a tarot and an oracle meant to be used together. Same art style. So it could be a set, like the Ark is a set of animal oracle and animal tarot together. Or like Moonchild Tarot also has a Moonchild oracle you can get. So they're made to go together. And that's kind of cool. So you can buy decks that are together, and there might be like, you might have a particular tarot deck that you like to use with a particular oracle deck because the messages seem to go together or because the artwork is similar. Now, let's go back to the very beginning where Justine had some great questions. Number one, how can tarot and oracle be used together in one reading? So we've already talked about starting the reading or ending the reading with a single oracle card. Tell me some other ways to use tarot and oracle together. I think it would be interesting to use, let's use this deck to create a spread. Okay, we're just going to do a 2-card spread for the collective. And I am using the Southern Botanic. And I've got 2 cards here. One card of stagnation and entrenchment, the Swamp Lily, and another card of sorrow and regret. What a sad spread. There has to be 3 cards to this. I can't do just those 2. So let's do, here we go. Now see, we need even more. So now we have receptivity and female essence. And now we have optimism and gladness. There's a spread. So this is a 4-card spread for the collective. Swamp Lily is going to ask, where are we feeling stagnant and entrenched? Cypress is going to ask, where are we feeling sorrow and regret? Archangel Root is going to ask, where do we need to be more receptive? And Rabbit Tobacco is asking, what gives us optimism and makes us glad? So let's put a tarot card. I'm going to use Spiral because why the heck not? Let's put a tarot card on each one of those. So we're using the oracle card to make the spread. And now we're going to use tarot to read it. What do you think about this? Okay, so where are we feeling stagnant and entrenched? The patriarchy is making us stagnant and entrenched. Or the sense that we have to do it this way and only this way. Or father issues. Or lack of community. Something like that is making us feel stagnant and entrenched. Where are we feeling sorrow and regret? The High Priestess. So isn't this interesting? 2 major arcana cards here. Stagnation with the Emperor and regret with the High Priestess. Are we feeling sorrow and regret because we have not – honored our balance or our intuition? Now it's interesting, we have the High Priestess, which is the card of female essence, and here we have an oracle card of female essence. So clearly we all need to be getting into our feminine selves. Yes, we do. And we need to get into our receptive sides, understand what we're receiving, and speak that truth. The High Priestess is silent, but the silence of the High Priestess against the oppressor causes sorrow and regret. So we must receive the truth and speak it. And if we do that, what will give us optimism and gladness? The Four of Pentacles reversed, being able to share with others and be more open. What do you think about that? That was a really interesting thing. We used divination with oracle cards to create a spread with tarot, and it actually kind of made sense. I don't know. What did you think? Is that something you would try? And let's see, Unicorn Rocks by Maya says, for Tarot and Oracle, I like reading the Urban Crow Oracle and Crow Tarot together. Makes sense. Pamela likes it, using the Oracle cards as spread questions. Sure, why the heck not? Ness, I remember why I don't read with Oracle cards. I have to use a dictionary for some of those keywords. I hear you. I hear you. Trey feels like a swamp lily right now. I'm so sorry. Tortoiseshell Moon. I sometimes use the oracle cards as the principal energy and the tarot cards as messages from that energy. That's beautiful. I love that. I love that. Maya, Tarot and Oracle, I will do a single oracle and ask for clarification and draw 3 tarot cards. Makes sense. Pamela's insight. Personally, I don't like matching tarot and oracle used by the same creator that are made together because they seem too much all the same, but that's just me. I hear you. Tortoiseshell Moon. I love runes, so really enjoy using rune cards or rune-inspired oracles with tarot. I love that. Right, and that's a whole system right there. Audrey, Carolyn Mrs. Archetype cards are used in her system of working with your own Chronos, Kairos, and Cosmic Wheels. That's beautiful. Oh, Maya, you have the Arc Transparent and a couple of others. There you go. Ashra, these go together. The Tarot of Mystical Moments has complementary oracle deck called Oracle of Mystical Moments. The images are stunning. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Okay, so Audrey, I refer to Oracle as the main course and Tarot as the contributing ingredients. That's beautiful. And also from Audrey, years ago, I took a Dorian Virtue class. She taught us to use multiple decks at the same time and layer them like you did. There you go. Claire, some Oracle cards lend themselves to this technique. Okay, so that was fun. And a super sticker from Clumsy Clairvoyance. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so here's a question. Are there any specific oracle decks that work particularly well with tarot and add value to the reading? I would say that is really personal taste. That is up to your personal taste. And I will tell you, and I didn't bring it out tonight, and I wish I had, remind me at some point to show you my Tarot of Transformation. I have a Tarot of Transformation, and Diane Wilkes referred to it as a taroracle because it's tarot, but it's really more like an oracle. And that's a deck that I call the big guns. I haven't used it in years, but I used to if I had a really hard question and we're doing the cards and it's coming up this way and this way. I'm like, okay, time for the big guns. And I'll spread the Tarot of Transformation out and have the querent pull 3, just 3, and that will give the answer. And I didn't bring that one out today, and I should have, but there's that. Oh, Angelic Michelle, crystal oracles are good. Trey, have you tried runes or bone throwing? I use runes for magic. I love making bind runes. I have not been successful with rune reading. Bone throwing, no, but I Ching, yes. I love I Ching. Audrey, it seems like anything goes. Yeah, it's really, really personal. Okay, let's go back. Can oracle cards be used to validate the reading or give more specific answers? I would almost go the other way, using tarot to validate the reading and give more specific answers. But I think it depends on the oracle. And what we're learning here is really you can do anything that feels right. There are no real rules here. You've often heard me say that there are no tarot police. So let's try it the other way. We just used oracle cards to create a spread and then tarot to do the reading. But what if, let's say we're going to do past, present, future. And this is just either for the collective or just for some person who doesn't exist, okay? Past, present, future. Okay. So I would do this reading and I would say, well, in the past, I think you were really trying to create change or hoping for change or not knowing how to create change. And even now, you are still stuck in not a bad place. You have managed to create stability. You have managed to create wealth. You are not stuck in a bad place, but neither are you happy. And if you do not make a change, neither will you be happy in the future. So what must you do in order to be happy? Let's bring out the Conscious Spirit Oracle deck. What must you do in order to be happy? I got that question from this spread. The sacral chakra. I feel comfortable in my own body and I'm sensitive to other people's feelings. So I would say to get out of being stuck and to open up, you need to do sacral chakra meditation. You need to become more comfortable with your own body and learn how to be comfortable with yourself and sensitive to others. Right? So that would be a way to do that, if that makes sense. So Maya has the Naughty Weave Oracle, good for clarifying tarot readings. And there's some conversation here for pendulum. Do you ever see clarification for a next yes, no from a pendulum? I don't. I do teach a good pendulum class, and I did teach a class here on pendulum and tarot, where if you look in the playlist, you'll find of like live tarot webinars, you'll find pendulum and tarot, and that was a fun class. But I do prefer to make charts and boards and use a pendulum that way. And yeah, I agree with Trey. The traditional method of a simple yes or no to not be very accurate. I have the same problem. The pendulum board, I think, is better, or creating a paper. Or you can do that with tarot. You can make your pendulum board with tarot or with oracle cards. Okay, so those are all of Justine's questions. So we have 6 minutes left. What have we done here today? We've talked about different kinds of tarot decks. We've talked about different systems of cartomancy. We've talked about what we call oracle decks and different kinds of oracle decks. And we're now talking about ways to use tarot and oracle. And I'd like to throw out another way. Let's see, Maya says, I use pendulum all the time with readings. I will also go through the chakras on my chakra readings to see which one the client needs to pay attention to. Yeah, I like that too. What if you just go one for one? Okay, so what is the message I need to know today? Here we go. One card, the Hermit. So what message, if this is the message I need to know today, what message might come from this? I need to be patient. I need to recognize that not everyone in the world is ready for my wisdom. I need to be comfortable in myself. So now let me choose. Let's choose which oracle? A witch oracle. I don't have a witch oracle. I wish I did. I'm actually, look, here they go. Let's choose, let's choose one of these. Let's choose Art Through the Starstream oracle to go with the Hermit, and we're going to combine the meanings. Here we have the goddess Isis, there is no death. Now, if we put these two together, and we know the story of Isis, she went and found her lover who had been killed and cut into little pieces, used magic to reassemble him, and conceived a child with him. So if we put these two things together, I would look at the Hermit as loneliness for those who have passed on. And I did just lose a friend recently. And I would see this card, and that's also like a passage of time thing, because it was a friend who was just my age, right? And sort of dealing with the passage of time. And that makes sense because the Hermit is old. And so are some of us. And here comes Isis to say, we're still all together. There is no death, only transition. And so there's a real comfort there. So I think you can go one for one, tarot and oracle, and it makes sense. Audrey, I use my oracle before doing Reiki sessions for something to give intention to. So I love that too. So if you're going to use an oracle deck for intention, I'm really wanting to put my hands on. See, I have made such a mess. I'm really wanting to put my hands on these cards, and I'm not seeing what I did with the box. I'm sure I'll find them later. So let's use this one. And let's say, let's do the same thing again. Different tarot deck, different oracle cards, and see what we see. Yes, Trey, the Hermit is also Father Time. Yes, yes. Okay, so let's do just another message. Card 13, Death, from Gaian Tarot. So the message would be about embracing change and recognizing that change happens, whether you like it or not. So now, from the Magical Times Empowerment cards, let's find a card that goes with that. Journey. Focus on how far you have come, not how far you have to go. You will find help in unexpected places. So I think it's very interesting. We have the card of change and the card of journey, and we can see how these two things go together. So I think there is, proven in our session today, some real magic. When we put these cards together, they will speak to each other. You can do, I like this artwork with that artwork, whatever. But I think you can trust that whichever card you put with whichever card, tarot, oracle, which oracle, you will find truth and the cards will work together. That's what I've learned here. Any thoughts, any questions? We're in our last minute. Clumsy, perhaps even a new chapter in your journey. That makes sense. Yes. What about pulling tokens from a bag? Yes, absolutely. Like charms, reading with charms. That is another way to do it. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Trey, death has come up twice tonight. Indeed. Yeah, it's on my mind, certainly. Not necessarily my own mortality, unless I really force myself to think about that. But the larger view of mortality, certainly. All right, we are in our last minute. I need to say a big thank you to everyone watching, to everyone here with us tonight. A big thank you to the members, to the moderators, to those who have helped out with super chats and super stickers. Really, really appreciate you all. I will be back tomorrow at around noon for the Tarot Topics Weekly Newsletter Recap, where we're going to talk about the magic of the number 6. Yeah, I'm not kidding. We are. And obviously, I'm going to have to clean up this whole mess. But I will, and I'll find my angel cards and all the other cards. And if I've enabled your shopping, well, then my job here is done. I hope you've enjoyed it. And, a special thank you to all of the artists who create these cards. It's so wonderful. It's so much fun. The question I would leave you with, and maybe you can just, before we leave, you can just drop in a thought. If there were a theme around which you would design an oracle, what would it be? What would it be? We have woodland wisdom, winged enchantment. We have, different kinds of themes here. Is there a particular theme that you would want an oracle about? We have animal oracles, all kinds of oracles. Is there a particular theme that you would want to design or would want to buy? Maya went shopping during this class. That's great. Sally, thank you so much. It was a friend that I have been friends with since 5th grade. So crazy. Claire C., a tree oracle. That would be fabulous. Maya, I'm designing one around my painted rocks. Trey, astrology themed. Quinn, Brazilian folklore. I love that. Audrey, based on transitions. I love that. Sally, epitaphs. Oh, I love that. So I encourage you to consider making your own oracle. Absolutely. My friends, thank you so very much for coming out to play with me. I will look forward to seeing you soon. Take good care.